guy's primary this morning. He wakes up in such a good mood in the morning. You know, yesterday I was. I have to remember he's only been out of the hospital. Well, yesterday was 5 days. And he'd only been, he had surgery on that Tuesday. No. Yeah, he had surgery on a Tuesday, but he was in the hospital a week. Was he in a week after the surgery? Oh my gosh, the time is, he was in the hospital for 15 days, and the first 6 of those was in that 5th floor before surgery. So, it's been a while since the surgery, and he had all those days waiting for the tubes to stop draining, so they would know that they could take, the tubes out. I have read all kinds of stuff, and I've read, how should a person act after they're home from the hospital from having pneumonia? But then Mom reminded me last night, he didn't just have pneumonia. He had sepsis also, and he had surgery for his pneumonia. It wasn't just a bunch of meds and fluids and, then he went home. He had surgery. And I know I don't expect see this and laughing and, stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, we're, he's rocking right now. He's listening to his music with his headphones on. He looks like a woolly mammoth because he hasn't had a haircut since we come back from the hospital. That's just one thing I was not wanting to put on him. Sit right here, let me cut your hair. Hair falling down off his, I don't know. He has a shirt on when I cut his hair. He takes a shower every night, sitting in his little chair. Oh. Anyway, I haven't had a chance to read any comments this morning, so I have had a couple of direct messages on different things to try, which I'd already said yesterday in that video I was going to try that cupping. Somehow you keep your hand, cupping. Somebody said there was a vibrating jacket. Well, you can't order them. I looked on Walmart and I looked on Amazon. There's nothing about vibrating jackets. Then I thought, I have, someone sent me with, whether it was my back or something, at one point when I was hurting, someone sent me, it come in a case and it had all these different heads on it it's a vibrator thing, and it looks like a gun, and I just wondered, maybe I could do that on a low setting on his back. So I might try that. He's got that one. Somebody said something. One of them or both of them said something about the flutter. He's got a flutter thing. Someone said you don't have to blow or inhale. You just put it up and turn it on, and you put it in your mouth, and it vibrates down into the lungs. And I'm thinking, that would be cool, because that is Levi's problem. There's no connection there to suck in. Because think of how many, he goes through sodas like it's nobody's business, and usually he has a straw in it, so he knows how to suck on a straw. So when you tell him suck, he just doesn't get it, and he'll blow, and he may eventually throw out a suck in sound, but it's one time out of 50. So like yesterday when I said I sprayed that little piece of paper and went up and said, smell this. So he knew to smell, but if you just say smell or suck in or inhale or whatever, those words, he can't do it unless there's some kind of like the paper, because he knew he had to smell the paper. So if there was a flutter, because he has that one flutter thing that you blow. I don't know. They always had him blow it. Suck on that one thing and then blow on that thing. And when you blow, you do feel it just vibrating back in your throat, and supposedly that vibrates down to your lungs. He's got that, but he doesn't do it very well, and it would be awesome if he could just sit there with that thing. Then I thought, well, I have a vibrating plate. Remember that thing you stand on and it shakes you? It shakes you from your toe to your head. I'm wondering if that would work for vibrating that junk in his lungs. Anyway, we're gonna see the doctor this morning. I hope he wasn't expecting blood work, because after that fiasco of all the stuff before we found out he had pneumonia, I never had his blood work done. And he had so much blood work at the doctor's office, at the hospital. I'd almost like to say, look, just call the hospital and ask them for blood work, because he had it done about every other day. Although he hasn't eaten anything this morning, he could go in and do blood this morning, because he always had things to drink. Yeah, because although there's zeros, it was still Dr. Pepper, cherry Dr. Pepper zero.
I don't want to get home.
Oh, he's hearing me. He's hearing me. He wants them headphones on. He's listening. Anyway, we're going to get this visit out of the way today. Then later today, the nurse comes. Somebody said won't probably have the same nurse that was like the head. Yeah, I already know I'm not. She already told me that day when she was here that she wouldn't be the one coming back for his visits. And then I got a message yesterday from I think her name is Kendra, but it may be Kendria, because it's not spelled like Kendra. It's got an E in there at the end, so I don't know. Anyway, she's coming today at 1, I believe. So she'll check his dressing, see if that needs to be peeled off, clean around it, I guess put a new one on, I guess, over. His PICC lines are different than like the IV ports that you see in your hands or arms when you're in the hospital, because I believe I read somewhere that those are supposed to be changed every 6 days. You shouldn't have a port in that vein longer than 6 days, or at least in that. So I don't know. I don't know if they changed him every 6 days or not. Probably sooner. I know that one time he pulled his whole thing out of his arm. I'm just like in shock that he did that without ripping something. That just makes me sick to my stomach just to think that he did that. And he could have, if he'd ripped up, it would have, I don't know. At least he pulled straight down, because he didn't rip nothing open. And then I remember the time when the one nurse did fluids when they were supposed to stop. She didn't see the note. I don't know. They kind of rolled around with these carts with this big computer on them. But she put fluids, and his arm just swelled up, and he was supposed to be off fluids. His arm just got so big and hot and thick, and it wasn't red. I guess it wasn't hot. It may have been hot because he was laying in the bed, but I just remember looking, and I was like, his arm is swollen. It's like, and then it was, so I don't know. Even hospitals make mistakes. I loved the hospital, though. I loved all the nurses. That was a mistake made, but I did love all the nurses. You don't really get a chance to know the doctors, because I have low tire pressure. I got my blinker fixed. Anybody notice that? When I turn, it don't. Had my oil change the other day, and I don't know, because now that I think about it, when I had my oil change, I never watched them go round and round and check my tires. But that was just day before yesterday. And yesterday was the first time it did low tire pressure, and I had to pull over on the way to get his. So I was thinking I'm going to pull up to one of them gas station air things. I remember once taking Mom and Dad. Well, Dad was driving, but he wanted me to go so I could stand with Mom, because he can't stand for long periods of time. Take one of the dogs to the vet, and it was before they made appointments. Well, you still gotta kind of stand, but it was kind of first come first. Yeah, it was before they made online appointments. You'd like put your cat's name in and blah blah blah, or your dog or whatever. You'd put that in. There was still a whole bunch of.
My old one passed away. That sad.
Your old what?
Well, my old one passed away.
Who?
Rohan.
Yes, baby.
But our last one, they don't see him no more.
No, Dissa is missing him. Dissa is lost without Rohan. She cries constantly. She runs to that back porch like he's going to be there, and he's not there. I don't know what to do for her. I guess she'll get over it, but it was very sad. But anyway, we stopped. We were in their van, in the caravan, and we were halfway there. All of a sudden, the light came on, and I don't know. Evidently, Dad had it in the shop because the tire sensor, that says that, was malfunctioning, because he'd already been several times to have the tires aired up, and they had the amount of air they were supposed to have in them. So, then he went to Discount Tires or someplace. They replaced that sensor, or they did something to the sensor, and then it did it again. Anyway, I don't remember how, but I just remember that morning. I don't know how many times he had to deal with it, but I think it's fixed now. But that morning we had to pull into one of them gas stations in the dark. Dad's out there airing up all 4 tires just to make sure they were all had air in them. So I don't know. Hope my sensor's not bad. I hope it is just that I have some low air pressure. Okay, finished at the doctor. Did a really quick Walmart trip. He walked around in Walmart, which was good for him.
So to you basically killing him? I think, Sam.
I know. He's perkier today. He's eating him. What you eating, baby?
Sippy donut.
It makes him happy. His appetite still isn't what he used to be, so after he slept all night, if he wants a Shipley's donut, hey, you're gonna get a Shipley's donut. That's what I say. Anyway, we're gonna make a pot of beans when we get home. Yeah. I ordered. I'm gonna tell you what, you guys have been such a blessing, because the gas money that I received, you don't even know. And we still have visits going on. We still, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is nothing. It could be something. I've got to get home, because his doctor, Dr. Mark, wants an x-ray. So he said, go wherever I went last time. And I said, well, I went to Memorial Hermann in the back of Kingwood. And I said, because they're not in Levi's network, so I have to pay, but at least they were part of. Oh, somebody had a wreck and just left their vehicle sitting. I knew that the x-rays would go, come to you, and now they're in his chart with like the Hilo app, and he said, okay. Oh, just missed whatever that said. I think it says Walgreens has a prescription ready. Anyway, he said, go there, that's fine. He said, because they'll send on to his the doctor that he'll be seeing on Friday. So he had already gotten all of the stuff. He was looking through everything from Levi's hospital visit. And he said, so you've got to follow up on Friday. And I said, yes, they're supposed to. He goes, they're taking out the sutures. I said, yes, they are. And he said he's going to prescribe a ointment for after the sutures come out. I was like, okay. And but he looked at them. He said they look fine. Because remember I said that one looked red to me, and he said, no, it's fine. It's healing good. He said, but I am going to prescribe an ointment for when they come out. So he's got that x-ray that I've got orders for it. All I have to do is go online like I did the last time, go into their app, fill in all the information and make the appointment, and then we just go. And so that's what I'll do. Either for probably would be better to go tomorrow. That way it has enough time to get possibly
To get the stitches out.
Yeah, it'll have time to have already gotten to Barbie when she sees it on Friday. If she I'm assuming they're all, like this. So if this Memorial Herman does it, it's gonna go on his file, and they're gonna be able to see it. And then it'll come to Dr. Mark too. Anyway, he said that he wants him back on the breathing treatments, because I haven't been doing that since we got home. But he wants him to do it. And he said I showed him the picture on my phone, the same one I posted for you guys. I said, this is what it looked like yesterday. And I said, there's still so much stuff right here. And he said, the antibiotics is what it's got to do. He said, it's gonna clear that out. He said so. And I said, because he doesn't cough it up. He won't. I said, he doesn't understand that it's from here. His mind doesn't tell him to cough that up or bring that up. And he said it's going to clear that out. But he wants him back on the breathing treatment. What else did he say? I meant to ask him about the vibrating thing, but it's okay. I think when I see Barbie Friday, because they're the ones that put the PICC line in, and I would like to get some information from her as how to break up that stuff that's still there, how to get it out. Are the meds going to take it out? Are the meds going to dissolve that somehow? Whatever they do, however the medicine works. Or do I need to do something else? Because the little exercises and stuff, he does them, but he doesn't do them like a normal, like me or you would think. Suck in as deep as you can. He doesn't grasp it. He doesn't, it's here, and it's just not making that connection. Anyway, or blow, and he just, and no, baby, blow for a long time, and he doesn't, and that's before he even had pneumonia. That was back, just on other times. So anyway, I'm going to ask her about different things, like, because I have that vibrating plate at home that you stand on and it shakes you, and I'm thinking that would work. I think I just seen something pop up. I didn't read it, but I think I seen something that said something about a vibrating massage thing, like you sit back against it and it maybe. I was telling you earlier about that gun I have that could like do some light pulsating stuff on his back. You may have run the battery down from walking around with them at Walmart. See if they come on. Well, I don't think so. That should have like 16 hours of battery. They come on? Okay. Anyway, it was a good visit. And then we ran to Walmart because what I was going to say, y'all have blessed us so much with the monetary gifts And it has helped so much. And like I know that I'm gonna have to pay for his X-rays. These that I went all the way to Tombaugh for were free. They were in his network. But that was a long trip to get one X-ray. So if I have to pay, per X-ray, I'll just have to do it. And right now I have the funds because y'all have helped. But you also helped me in purchasing a VHS/DVD player recorder. Because I don't even think you can buy them new anymore. I had to buy it off eBay and it was used. So I didn't pay that much, but still I did buy one. Because he wanted Redheaded Stranger. And a couple of years back, one of you guys made him a Redheaded Stranger. You did it the same way. You recorded it from your VHS or from your TV. Maybe you had it recorded on your TV and you put it to DVD. I don't know how you did it. But since then, that one has been scratched a little bit. And so I ordered the VHS, which was like $7 for the VHS Redheaded Stranger movie. It's got Willie Nelson in it. And then I ordered that recorder. So I told him I'd hook that up when we get home and get that to. I have to look up. It didn't come with directions and all that kind of stuff, so I'm going to try to fiddle around with it. Maybe see if I can download some directions off the internet. We used to have one. I mean, years and years ago, and it went out. And after that, DVDs were so easily, you get a DVD for $2.50 or $5, a movie that you wanted to see all the time. But anyway, I did order that, and I'm going to set it up in the kids' room, the playroom, because it'll be out of the way. I don't want it in the living room. Well, the truth is, I tried to hook it up in the living room, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't have the directions, and it's kind of hard in the living room because, I have my mantle, and the mantle is full of mantle things. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you got to get behind the TV. Well, the TV's hooked to the wall, and it comes out so far, and it'll twist. So I can get to one side this way, then I have to twist it this way and get to stuff on this side. And I was just like, I'm not doing all that. The DVD player is already hooked up in there. It was simple. It was one HDMI cord and a plug. And the plugs now look like the USB plugs. So to that little DVD player, it was like a USB one. It's so simple. But that thing is big. It's long. And I'm just gonna put it in the kids' room, plug it in, hook it up, download some instructions, and get that recorded for him on DVD so he can watch it in another room. Anyway, but he's good this morning. He's like almost his normal self this morning. I think maybe as the day wears on, he gets tired. I don't know. I've been making him walk and doing them exercises, and maybe that because he's only fully working with one good lung, maybe it just takes a lot out of him. When you read everything about it, pneumonia, it tells you, you have to rest. Get a good night's sleep and rest several times a day. Don't overdo it over whatever, so I don't want to overdo it, but I want to do what's right by him. Walking 5 minutes 3 times a day out in the front yard is not going to hurt what he's trying to get through or make it worse. Anyway, another video trip in the car. I should start naming these like car visits. I don't know, truck visits. Visits from the truck. Visits from on the road. We are on the road all the time. All right, we are gonna go. He's listening to his tablet and he's singing along. So. All right, love you guys. God bless y'all. See you later. Katie, I'm trying to do a video.